Yeah, speaking of other trailers that sort of probably weren't in-game, but were also super cool, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Probably my favorite surprise of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Even with the rumors, I'm so excited for a new Spider-Man game. And that trailer, like, yeah, very obviously, even if it's in-engine, like, not gameplay, but man, there's so much hidden in that trailer. And like, I'm not a Spider-Man comics guy at all, but one of the biggest things, because there's like Oscorp signs and like Daily Bugle and all the stuff you'd expect. But one of the big things is apparently there's a villain called Mr. Negative that seems to be the villain. It's his guards. There's imagery all over with his name. There's all this stuff. And honestly,
is he just the internet?
Yeah, he's a commenter. I love the idea of a Spider-Man game where it's not Green Goblin. It's not Kingpin. It's not Doc Ock. Like the idea of, hey, let's do something interesting with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
sounds awesome. Also, Insomniac's perfect for.
Also, I'm so excited to fly around New York City. That is my favorite city in the world. It's going to look so gorgeous in that game. Playing the old Spider-Man games were some of the most fun I've ever had playing.
Spider-Man 2 on PS2 is probably still my favorite open world game.
Yeah, my favorite part in Ratchet and Clank was first of all pretending I was playing a Rocket Raccoon game. And second, the part where you're just in this big open area and flying around in a jetpack. And I was like, this is like just that traversal. And like if they're putting that into a Spider-Man game and it looks half as good as Ratchet and Clank did, but it's about
and even
Spidey.
Sunset.
And that's the thing is, if anyone who doesn't have an Xbox One, the three biggest things you're probably missing out on are Ori and the Blind Forest, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which will hopefully be getting soon, and Sunset Overdrive most especially, which is Insomniac, and the sensation of movement in that game and of like the build of power, and by the end of the game, the fact that you can traverse the entire city without ever touching the ground. It's all about wall running and bouncing off patio furniture.
It's like
very Spider-Man if you think about it.
I've never played a game where I understood more than ever, like I can jump right here and make it to there. Like I understood distance. I understood like what I would die on and what I wouldn't.
There's a sort of like a rhythm to your weight in that game that makes a lot of sense. Where it feels like the momentum actually is calculated to your actions and to the character. And a lot of games are just like a jump is a jump no matter how you jump. But that game there feels like there's a push and a velocity to it.
And that's exciting because like Spider-Man 2 nailed the web slinging, and the guy who made it actually made a Kickstarter based solely on that later. But no game since has gotten it right.
Called Rope Shooter.
Spider-Man 3 didn't do it well at all. And then the Amazing Spider-Man games, which actually is on iPad and everything else, is maybe the closest. That's also on Vita, but it never felt right. And I think Insomniac can get it.
I'm really excited about this just because it's the first Spider-Man game. I guess there were those ones that were like, there were the movie ones, the tie-ins, and then there was like Shattered Dimensions, and there was
an Ultimate Spider-Man one.
Ultimate Spider-Man was the last one that I remember being like, oh, this actually looks like comic books, and it looks like it's kind of doing its own thing. It's not strictly trying to tie to any source material. I'm really happy this isn't somehow branded. Like I'm really happy this isn't MCU branded.
It's not Homecoming.
This is totally its own thing.
It's its own costume even.
So what I think,
I don't like the costume, but screw it, whatever.
I think some of I'm almost positive there'll be others you can choose from.
Oh yeah, no, if they don't throw Spider-Gwen in there in 2016, 2017, 18, whenever this comes out.
So really quick, the last thing about this, Andrew, you want to go a little in depth on sort of Marvel gaming as a whole?
Yes, the other really exciting thing about this was they announced it, everything went up, and then Marvel.com put up a blog post where they kind of casually mentioned, oh, by the way, this is like the first big push from Marvel Gaming, which is sort of rethinking our brands. And Polygon did a really interesting interview with kind of the head of that about what they want to do. And the only two we know right now are this one and then Telltale's Marvel game that they announced last year, but we don't know what it is. They said we'll be finding out more this year. And actually, Marty, you'll have a feature coming of kind of what we'd want to see from certain devs. But it's really exciting in that like the MCU was born out of, hey, we gave away our rights to Fox and Sony and whatever. Let's do our own. And Marvel Studios is all internal.
Yes.
And if they can do that for gaming, like they'll farm it out to devs, obviously, but like if they can own their brands and really like be as good as what this looks like, that sounds amazing.
And the MCU has done such a great job of pairing superheroes with incredible directors and talent, like getting people like Shane Black and Joss Whedon and James Gunn. And then you look at like, we see the casting and everyone for Black Panther and we're like, holy crap, this is perfect. So to imagine that sort of thoughtful care and actual want to have a good product
really
in games. Like licensed games were a joke. We've talked about it on this show forever. Like licensed games for so long were an afterthought and a cash-in joke. Like especially a lot of Activision stuff. Whereas with this,
think about like the Silicon Knights X-Men game.
You
know, like think about like that era.
I've never gotten so angry in a preview event.
Right?
I went and saw that and I was like, I don't want to write about this because it's going to be hard not to just
also like
completely.
Worked alongside Greg Miller for years. He's one of the biggest Spider-Man fans I know. Every single time a Spider-Man game would come to his desk, I would watch the excitement disappear from him, because it would just be like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the good one. They're going to bring it back to its roots. No, it's gone.
We're finally going to swing the craze.
Yeah, it's the Sonic cycle. Yes. Have you ever seen that? Where it's like everyone, it's like, oh man, they're making a new Sonic game. Oh man, his friends are in it. It's just like that, forever.
The best I could hope for Telltale is that, like, I'm kind of burnt out on Telltale games. Like, I want to give the new Batman like a benefit of the doubt, but like it doesn't scratch that itch for me. The best thing I could hope is that it's a Matt Fraction Hawkeye inspired game, because I don't know if you guys have seen that comic, but it's like the most gorgeous.
Yep.
Like, it plays with like the visual medium. Like there's entire pages where it's all like the dog's perspective and like weird stuff like that. It's all like silhouette.
I think Telltale's Batman's gonna be really fascinating. I think it's gonna be great because they're focusing more on the detective Bruce Wayne aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean we can transition into that,
and the repercussions of that character and what he does treading into Batman's world. So basically, like he lets a character free in a cutscene, and that character comes back to fight Batman later on.
And
there's
also
like politics at play. Like there's a lot of really interesting stuff they're doing.
They're basically treating Batman and Bruce Wayne as separate characters in it.
Yeah.
And during the demo, they were saying that like later on, like let's say episode 3, whatever, like halfway through, there will be like whatever it is, whichever villains they're focusing on. It's like, oh no, like Killer Croc is loose in the city. Do you want to fix it as Bruce Wayne or as Batman? And depending on how you approach that situation, it will fundamentally change episode 4 and 5. Like it'll totally transform.
I did an interview with Job from Telltale and Laura from Telltale at our stage, and they were talking about how your decisions have impact, and I jokingly said like, oh, so it's kind of like Gotham will remember that, and they were like, yeah, actually, that's exactly what's happening here. And I'm like, that's such an interesting, different take than, I don't know, the 7th Rocksteady game where you're just in the car or you're flying around, you're collecting the trophies. Like, those games are fun. I get it.
No, we need this.
But this is important. Like, I think it's cool to have this story. And look, like, we're getting Batman VR. Like, we're going to keep getting Rocksteady Batman games probably forever. Or some studio will be making them. No, but I think it's really cool.
He's the world's greatest detective. An adventure game is totally suitable for that.
Yeah. And the voice cast they've got so far is really great. I mean, it's Troy Baker as Bruce Wayne. It's Laura Bailey as Selena Kyle.
Travis Willingham as Two-Face or Harvey Dent. Yeah.
The dude who does Sully is Carmine Falcone.
Yeah, which was really good.
But some people are a little worried about Troy.
Troy was awesome as Bruce Wayne because he was just playing Troy and he sounds, the way you would want him to. His Batman voice is a little weird. I think there's still time to change that, but it just maybe they'll modulate it or something. It'll sound fine.
I don't know why he went with a Welsh accent. I thought that was really strange.
No, but I mean, in all seriousness, it sounded like him. It sounded like him making fun of somebody. Like it's like just someone doing a really deep, low register Batman voice that just sounds a little off.
It's weird because that's what we all thought when we first started hearing Christian Bale's voice. And we got okay with it after.
But no, this isn't like that's what I'm saying. This isn't that. This isn't like that was BVS, a weird choice.
Right? Yeah.
It is basically him just talking like this and very like it sounds like how that was when I just did that. Like it sounds very much like Troy Baker. That's seriously what it sounds like. People during the demo, like the whole demo I thought was great, but when Troy started speaking, like people were snickering, like people were laughing at it, and I hope they put an effect on it or just something because it just sounds weird.
I mean, when I saw the Tales from the Borderlands demo the first time, it was literally a different voice actor for
Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer was Reese, and Troy Baker ended up playing him. So there's still time from now to then to.
Side note: Troy Baker has now played Bruce Wayne, Batman, Joker, and Two-Face,
and Lego Batman.
And Lego Batman. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. The big question will be if Joker's in this, who will be his voice?
Yeah. It'll just be him too.
Do you want to just talk about Batman VR?
Yeah, let's pivot into Batman VR.
Did you guys all get to see it, or
I did not.
I got to play it.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I didn't know.
Oh, it was great. It was on PSVR. You get in, you put it on. It uses Move controllers. And the first thing is it's a menu screen. You can choose the Batcave or you could choose a crime scene. But you're on a rooftop, and when you step forward and look over the roof, it's like that sensation of like, oh God, I'm so high up. Like it was perfect. It was also the best looking PSVR thing I've ever played, just in terms of visual fidelity. We've talked before about how on paper, Oculus and Vive are objectively more powerful than the PSVR. But I look at this, I'm like, oh, in the hands of someone like Rocksteady, who make some of the most incredible looking games, like there's no fear that a PSVR is going to be too underpowered.
And Shuhei Yoshida did confirm that every game at E3 was running on existing PS4 hardware.
Yes, there was no Neo, no PC or anything. In the 2 demos, one of them was you pretty much you're at your piano and Alfred comes over and you can pick up a couple things. You can pick up a phone and you get chewed out via voicemail by Vicky Vale for standing her up the night before. You can open drawers and look at pictures. And then you eventually,
piano?
Yeah, you hit the keys, and no matter what you hit the specific keys, and then you go down the elevator. But you slowly you become Batman. Like there's a mask that's in front of you. You take it and you put it on your face. There's a utility belt that you strap on your waist. So like literally by doing this, you get batarangs that you can just start throwing at whatever you want. You get a grappling hook that you can aim anywhere, fire, and pull things towards you. And it's just, and then you get down to the Batcave and you see the giant weird penny. I don't know why that dude had a penny. And then you see the dinosaur. I don't know why that dude had a dinosaur.
It's a Batcave thing, right?
I know it's a Batcave thing. I just like.
Oh, they're like trophies from old fights.
Yeah, but what weird dinosaur penny man did he fight?
They explain it in the comics.
Yeah.
They actually
I think
the
it was
animated
Two-Face,
series
the
did it on
penny.
it too. The penny is Two-Face. The dinosaur was from the Museum in
With
Natural
Turok.
Yeah, he just stole
Turok.
it. He's like
just
back
one
when
of those-
Batman went through that weird crime spree phase where he just
This
stole
belongs
things.
in a museum. You literally stole it from a
He
museum.
has a couple of Pollocks that he stole, and a couple of
Yeah.
just beautiful classic old paintings.
Yeah.
Really
But
big into
then
that.
the second part of it was a crime scene investigation where, without spoilers, a character gets murdered and you have to recreate the crime scene and find out what happened. And you use this weird method of fast forwarding and rewinding time as you rebuild what happened.
Oh yeah, that was in.
That was also in the next game we're going to talk about, which is very strange. But yeah, and so you're rebuilding this, but the way you move is you're not physically moving around the environment. There's a series of nodes that you hop to. So there's 6 spots you can hop to across the alley and up in the catwalks and everything. And it's all about observing this. Like this was the world's greatest detective portion. Like those things in Arkham Knight where you're trying to solve a murder mystery. It was that, but fleshed out more.
Right. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and so you're looking for fingerprints, and you're trying to find the moment where this character's neck broke, so that you can find out what happened and how this character actually died. So there's probably kummis everywhere. There's probably ropes everywhere that you look and you.
Did you say kummis?
Yeah, kummis.
Like hummus, but made with okay. Is this a PSVR launch game?
They said this year. I don't think they specifically said.
Okay, so launch
I would assume so.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. So when you look down, do you see your bat feet?
You don't see your bat feet, no.
Really?
So
Yeah.
No. Why?
Do you know he's wearing sandals? Like a weird dude.
And he's wearing shorts?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the weird thing about Batman is he only dresses the top
Jordan
half of his body, and a lot of times he just has like a hang and wang down.
One of the scariest things that Batman does is he just doesn't. He's just naked from the waist down. And criminals are a cowardly and superstitious and homophobic breed. So
Yeah. They don't like it at all.